The lesson that we're doing is in a unit of data that our students are learning, and they're having the opportunity today to research data in a topic of their interests. Some are looking at sports scores, some are looking at tallest buildings of the world, some are looking at the price of different dog breeds. Once they have their data, they're using a website called MetaChart to plot the data and see what a box and whisker plot would look like.
Me and my partner Brandon, we did most dunks in an NBA regular season.
I find that they are much more interested when it's something like this, that they can go off on a topic. They're not just looking for the data, but they're also talking to each other maybe about the topic and why they're interested in that. I think it also helps them form relationships in the class.
One of the most difficult concepts for a 7th grader in writing is argumentative writing, because they tend to want to whine, basically, just give reason after reason after reason after reason without explaining. So today we were reviewing good structure for argumentative writing. They had to start with their position. They had to support that with reasons, evidence, and facts. Then they had to acknowledge the other side of the story using transition words that would flag, hey, this is the other side of the story. And then they had to destroy the other side by giving additional reasons, facts, and examples.
Sometimes we do self-paced stuff, which is also good, but we get to work together, and so if you don't know something, you can learn from other people too.
Support, acknowledge, destroy.
Nobody's gonna dance with me? Really? Go!
She makes it really fun. You want to go and learn. Some other teachers make it really boring. They just stand in the front and talk, but she moves around, she dances and sings, and it's really crazy and it's really fun to go and learn with her.
Before kids broke into their separate sections, you put a grid up on the board. Can you tell me about that grid and how you determine who goes where?
That's basically my agenda for the day. So in the beginning of the chapter, I give a pre-test just to see where the kids are at before they learn anything, and that's solely in the beginning how I base my groups. So I have circles, rectangles, squares, and triangles, and that's all differentiated based on their needs. So I have higher achieving kids grouped together, and then my kids that might need a little bit more help in certain areas grouped together. So I base that on their pre-test scores, but then if need be throughout the chapter, if I see someone really doing well or someone really struggling with something, the groups are very flexible and I can switch them when necessary.
You can work by yourself, and then you get to work with other people. Not only do you get to do it with your teacher, you get to do it on online websites and other things too.
So it's really fun because you actually, instead of having them baby step you get to actually get independently, which is great because she's preparing us very well for middle school.
Girls, take a moment, have your stuff, regroup all of your books.
I would say that I'm definitely more active. I'm more one-on-one. I'm more in small group. So that allows me to connect and kind of see mistakes quicker, which is really nice. But it also allows me to make more of a personal connection. So I really have been able to understand the individuals in my classroom more so than just my entire classroom. What are they good at as a group? Now it's more individualized. It's more, I know that she can handle this and he can handle that. But
yeah, the classroom's set up for these stations.
We don't do this every day. We do it most days, but not every day. We sometimes do whole group activities.
And what do you like? What do you like better?
I like the stations because it goes faster and it's easier because we move around a lot.
I think that I like doing it a bit better than the whole group because then it's more personalized and you can ask her more questions.
Do you Schoology a lot?
Yeah, because it's just to get notified what we're doing around the classroom.
We wrote the pen pal letter and we sent it to her, and so she put comments on our pen pal letter saying what we might be able to change to fix it to make it a bit better, and so that was what the comments were.
And this all occurred over the computer. You didn't have any paper passing back and forth?
Nope.
Okay, so today we're doing a virus activity. So yesterday they learned about viruses and how viruses work and how vaccines work. So we simulated some viruses. The kids had 5 different fake viruses that are spreading around the room. There's a sunglass virus, a bad hat virus, the right eye virus, where they have no control of their right arm because they have to cover their right eye with it. The left arm virus, where they have to stick their hands inside their left arm inside of their body, can't use their left arms anymore. and then the head desk virus, where they actually have to put their head on the desk for a specified amount of time.
So in Mr. Mahmood's class, we're learning about diseases and how it can spread to each of us and how it can get not only to one person, but when you give it off by sneezing or touching somebody else and give it to them too. If it's more hands-on, you can learn that better. You're gonna remember instead of reading from a book. You can easily forget it.
Tell us a little bit about your Be the Change project.
Be the Change is a project that we developed in ELA a few years ago to challenge the GHP students through writing, analysis, and research, and we wanted to give it some real-world applications. So what we did was we had them pick a cause that they're passionate about, and then they research it all year through finding nonfiction articles and analyzing them and writing about it, a novel that applies to it, poetry, a person that can be the ambassador for their cause, and they have to submit a written piece for every single analysis. But the catch is they have to pretend as if they are advertising executives in the real world.
I think it's a really good way to learn because people they're kind of finding it out by themselves. They're not just sitting in a classroom and having it being drilled at them. They're figuring it out and going online. So I made the logo, and then we got them turned into stickers, and we're selling stickers to raise awareness.
Today we are taking a virtual field trip to Anne Frank's attic, and we are getting to have an in-depth look at the people who live there and the conditions in which they lived.
Well, the experience is awesome. It's better than reading a book. You get to actually see how it is and witness, well, not witness, but understand how they lived on it and all the different stories about the day and events going on during her life.
Today in my classroom, we are working on 2 rotations for reading, and the direct station, which is station 1, involves a group of students, and we're working with Nearpod, which is an interactive online platform where the students can see slides on their own computer, and then they work interactively with what we're reviewing, which today it's figurative language. So they're doing that. There's a writing tool there that they write on the slides with, or they can use text, they can highlight, they can erase. It could be multiple choice, it could be a poll, anything that you're really working with can be created and then presented to the students as a live presentation, and or they can do it independently at a self-directed or self-paced lesson with that.
This classroom I think is one of the best for in the school the last time since I've been here. And it's not just because she's one of the nicest teachers, but it's because we get to use a lot more electronics on the computers and stuff instead of the other classes.
And do you love learning that way?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the experience that your students are having in there in your classroom.
Well, right now they're doing a digital breakout, and I actually just learned how to make my own, so I'm really excited. This is the first one that I've made myself, but the kids have done a couple that have been pre-made by other teachers, and they love them. And
are they hard to make?
No.
Have you guys gotten any of the locks yet?
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
We're doing Lightning Thief Breakout. It's basically every time we read a book in class, we learn about it a little bit, and then we answer these questions. It's
Are you learning a lot?
Mm-hmm.
And now, what do you think compared to a packet of information? Which way do you like better? Which way do you like to learn better?
I like using the apps because it's more entertaining, and it's more keeps you more focused. It's you want to do it.
So our 8th grade students are involved in a project where they research an environmental topic and convince their peers that it's the most important environmental topic and try to win $1 million. Of course, a fake $1 million, but $1 million.
Right, so they're going to be putting on skits. So some have been talking about pretending they're on the news or pretending they're on Jeopardy. We even had one for Family Feud.
Yeah, and the issues are really interesting things that we try to find that students don't really know too much about, like shark finning or the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So it gives us a chance to have kids interact with things that we don't get to teach in the normal curriculum, and they take it and put their own spin on it.
It was really fun because we got to work as a group rather than just on our own writing a paper, and it was really fun to sort of come up with the different ways to talk about the issue of shark finning, and obviously it was fun to dress up as a shark.
Are you ever going to forget about what shark finning is?
Of course not. It's so much easier to remember when you have something to tie it to.